Hey all, this is Georgia for the Auto Techie channel. I have a very nice truck for you today. I want to share some experience renting this truck from Hertz and also driving it around Florida for about 7 days. So here it goes. It's Silverado EV. It's a beautiful truck. I have rented it at Hertz in Tampa Airport. Total for 1 week was $320. I did the prepay option, as the non-prepay option was significantly more, is $490 or so. So I decided to prepay, and I thought it was pretty cheap for $320. Other EV options like Tesla or Volvo were at about $250 for a week. So I decided to give this a try, and I don't regret it at all. It's really an awesome truck. So I'll give you a little walk around. I don't have a lot of room to work here as I'm in the driveway. Yesterday's video that I tried to record got interrupted by overheating GoPro, but hope you enjoy. Very subtle, no EV signs other than E in the Silverado that you can see here. This is the WT edition, which stands for the work truck. Again, beautiful looking truck. It's slightly different than RSD option that everybody else is reviewing as a GM press car, but some differences are seen in the bed. It doesn't have the pass-through bed like the other trucks do, but again, it's a beautiful looking truck. It's just all you can ask for a truck. It comes with one key fob from Hertz. Key fob has lock and lock, a traditional remote start button, which is just conditioning in this case, and a front opening button. So let me show you the front area first. Double click on the button, it pops open, and good size trunk. One power outlet at 120 volts. And something interesting that I've noticed here for the firefighter's hat, it has the place where to cut the cord for the firefighters, which I thought was pretty interesting. Really nice touch from GM. One thing that bugged me a little bit on this 7-day trip is that there was no button to open a frunk from the front, and a little bit inconsistent behavior. As you see also right now, the front did not close. It does have a soft close, but you have to kind of slam it and then it will soft close. Some other things that I've noticed, that if you leave the truck standing for a while with an open frunk and you try to close it, it will not soft close until you wake up the car with the key fob, which is really strange. So let's see if we can mimic this behavior. I'm going to open it, I'm going to leave it open, and I'll show you what I mean by this weird behavior. The doors have lock and unlock button, so it's used to lock and unlock. The tailgate has no buttons. It is only a latch that unlocks with the key or with a front door unlock button. It has 220 volt outlet and one 240 volt outlet. Good size bed. Overall, a very good truck. One thing I didn't mention, Hertz did charge this to 100%. It was 492 miles, which was amazing range. I have been driving it for a week and I'm currently at 65%, or 318 miles, which is really good. Let's get into the truck. I want to show you something else. As interior space is very roomy, feels just like a regular truck. Lot of buttons, has 2 displays. I will get it in a second. It's very hot in the truck, so a lot of room, a lot of storage space. Plenty of stuff here. I wish that the tailgate had a button, as I've noticed as I would get out of the car, even if the car is locked, if I would get out of the car and doors would unlock, it would not unlock the tailgate, so I always had to separately unlock the tailgate to get stuff out of the tailgate. We were carrying beach gear, and now it's locked until I press unlock twice to get it unlocked. So let's move to the interior of the car, and I will give you some more features, and I will show you some things that I really like and some things that I didn't like about this truck. So I left the truck open, I left the front open for a few minutes, went inside, wanted to see if I can replicate what I saw earlier. So if I try to close the front, it doesn't close, and it actually so it doesn't soft close. The only way to soft close it is to wake up the car, you know, open it up again, and actually the car is not waking up, but let's see. I unlatched it and I'm gonna try to close it again, see if it's actually gonna close, and now it did. So this is the behavior that was a little bit weird from time to time, so not very consistent. You don't know when the vehicle is sleeping, when it's not sleeping, so you just have to try it, see if it works. If it doesn't work, you go in and you try to open it and close it again until it closes. So as I rented this from Hertz, I said earlier it was charged to 100% at 492 miles. It has a standard CCS charge port, and interestingly enough, I have asked Hertz staff if it comes with a charging cable, and they said no. They even went inside to verify, and they said it doesn't come with the charging cable. I did try to search for it, and I couldn't find it until I got back to the property. But then later in the day, I found the charging cable stuck behind the seat in the wall, and charging cable does come with standard 110 volt plug as well as 1450 outlet, so large outlet for your 240 volt charging, as well as a standard outlet for 120 volt charging. So that is typically under the seat, so if your Hertz staff tells you that they don't have it, you should check under the seats or behind the seat or behind the wall. That's where I found mine. So range has been amazing, so I had no need to charge it, and I will probably not have a need to charge it until I return it later tonight. Hertz charges $25 recharge fee if you're returning the truck with anything less than what you got it, which I thought it was a good option. I checked the Electrify America charging station nearby, and the rate was close to 50 cents a kilowatt. And this truck being huge, it has a 240 kilowatt battery, which would take a lot more than $25 to charge, which I thought it's actually a good deal from Hertz if you get this truck. Let's get back inside, and I'll show you other things. Okay, let's get inside. This unlocks it. Let's try it. So it is, as you get into a car, displays come on. There is no start stop button, although it has a vehicle off button over here. You can turn off the vehicle, which was an interesting touch from GM. I will actually start the car and turn on the AC, as it is very, very hot in here. So where do we start right now? As on the left, your standard buttons, and it has parking brake button on the left, trailer, driver assist features, and also a front button. On the center we have a driving display, and then we have a center display with the climate control buttons at the bottom. A lot of storage, 2 USB-C ports, a lot of storage here, as well as on the sides, on the left, on the right, and the door. Plenty of room in the back. Okay, so let's review the features of this truck. Let's review the interior, show you some things that are standard and some things that I wish were done a little bit better. So it comes with a heads-up display. Heads-up display only gives you a warning light. It does not have any other information screen on there. Right now, the driving screen, it's telling me service driver assist system, which I'm not sure why, but that's just came up as I got into a car. So we're gonna press this button to remove that. So center screen gives you a total odometer, temperature, speed, driver assist systems, and then as well as your lane departure warning and your following distance. Following distance is given in seconds, which I thought was pretty neat. On the left side, you have a charge indicator with total range left, as well as your regeneration and your consumption figures on the right side. Standard PRND selector, and then a ready button, which I'm not really sure what it does. It just means maybe ready to drive, but that's about it. On the screen, you can change the different display options. In the end, they show you the same thing in a slightly different manner. So right now, I have my phone disconnected. I want to show you native applications first before I try to connect Android Auto and tell you why I like it or don't like it in some instances. On the steering wheel, on the left side, you have a standard cruise control. I think this is adaptive cruise control because it does have a following distance. I have not tried it. On the right side, you have your voice control, music, as well as this selector. One thing was really weird. The voice command button will activate both in-vehicle assistant as well as the Android assistant. So if you press this button, you will first get a message that you need subscription to use this feature, but then right following that, it will activate your Android assistant voice, which was, I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it just haven't thought it out through, but it's not really great. So this screen is great. It gives you a really good visual on the speed and range and everything else. Something that really bugged me over this 7-day trip is the aspect ratio of the screen. Even though it looks great from this GoPro angle, the screen has really big bezels on the side and it's really tall. And when I look, I'm about 6 feet tall, and when I look like from my eye angle, half of display gets blocked. So I wish this was a shorter but wider display. That way it would fit right in between this steering wheel area. Your standard park rear neutral drive selector is on the right side over here. Works fairly well. Even if you do not put in park, as you open a door, it will set it to park. First thing that I have done is I've selected the one pedal driving when I got into a car, because this was not set by default at Hertz. So for you to do that, you will go on a vehicle and you'll go under see more controls, drive and park, and there will be one pedal driving right there. One pedal driving is doing great. It works really well. I have tried it also on high. I didn't like it. It was too much of a regeneration. So one pedal driving on, I would say, really mimics how Tesla does it. Although there's a weird quirk here, and I don't know if this is a bug or also has not been properly designed. But if I put the vehicle in drive, one pedal driving works just as you should, because car is not moving anywhere and we're standing. Car does create some noise for you to hear it as it's coming down the road. So one pedal driving works great, but when you shift it in reverse, it's not one pedal driving anymore. As soon as I lift my foot off the brake, vehicle starts moving, and it's not one pedal driving. If I go to drive, vehicle stops until I actually press the gas or the accelerator pedal, and it will go. But try again, you go in reverse, and it is not one pedal driving anymore. Just really strange behavior for the same function. So as you put in reverse, it's the perfect time to show you the cameras. Cameras work really well. You have full 360 view as well as front and rear camera. Zoom, different options, different views. You can toggle through those. I found it very useful. Ultrasonic sensors work great. It gives you nice warnings and gives you a good distance estimation. Parking assist works really well. Few things that I think are maybe missing is for the camera to come on automatically as you approach obstacle in the front. I've had this on the previous cars, And this car doesn't do it, and it's very bulky in the front, so it's not always easy to see the curbs and bushes and the other parked cars. It's a big car. So there is no camera button either where you can easily turn on the cameras, which I thought would be very useful if you had maybe a camera button on this side or on this side where you can quickly toggle and see what's going on in the front. So the way that I got around this on my trip is I would quickly shift to reverse, got the cameras, and then go back to drive, and that would give me all the views I needed as I was parking the car in the tight spaces. So I'm gonna go back here, and I'm gonna show you some screens in the native GM application. I also think these bezels are kind of big and useless unless there is a option for the truck with a bigger screen, but right now this is I feel they are useless. So if I go to the first menu setting, you get a charging indicator, charge assist, which is only available after you sign into the GM app. I actually put the vehicle in park so you can see it. Or you can create a schedule for at-home charging. The next option is your controls. So you have the standard lights, window lockouts, high beams, park assist, as well as the power base for charging your home. For doors and windows, you have lockout options, lights, your standard light controls with the auto high beams. Drive and park will give you a one-pedal driving and traction control. And then the next option here is maps, which really doesn't work unless you subscribe, and you can only shop plans if you have a GM account. So I've tried it. It will take me to some unable to complete your request, some error mode, and it will do nothing for me. So I wish this was included when you rent a car. It would be really nice for that to be there. If we go to music, you will get standard AM, FM, and all the other Bluetooth and Google News and podcasts. And then as your home screen, settings, Wi-Fi hotspot, and all the other controls that I'm not going to get into. So screen is fairly simple. Doesn't look very polished. I wish it was a little bit better and nicer done. The user interface was nicer. Looks like kind of like an engineering sample. So that's all when it comes to the native features of this Android automotive system that's done by GM. I will turn on my phone Bluetooth right now so I can show you the Android Auto features. It does come with the Android Auto and CarPlay, both wireless. So if I turn on the Bluetooth, now my phone should connect. Although it wasn't very clear for me how to activate Android Auto on this display. There's not an Android Auto button here. So let's see if it's gonna connect or not. I had to kind of dig through the menu. So if you are going through the menus, there is really no Android Auto feature. Even here when you're managing phones, right now I'm going to connect my phone, but the phone doesn't really connect. If you click on the phone, it will give you your dial, your contacts. If you click on the map, it will give you native map, but not the Android Auto. If you click on the music, it will give you an option to start Android Auto for the music, but I have no idea how to actually get to it. So unintuitively, I pressed on the phone name over here, and then I got an option to start the Android Auto. So that's maybe an oversight. Maybe it's done on purpose because they just don't want you to they don't want to encourage you to use Android Auto. They would like you to use native features, and I don't know why, but it's not connecting right now. So let's try again, and there we go. Now it is connecting. Android Auto works fine. No issues at all. Just like you would expect it to work. Although you have a menu for your native native system, but then you also have a menu for Android Auto. Few things are weird. If you ever get out of it to go check on your charge level or other things on your settings, there's not an easy way to get into it unless you know to click on the phone name and then go back into the Android Auto. So GM got a lot of bad press for killing Android Auto on some of their models, and To some extent, I agree that they should maybe remove Android Auto, because this user interface between the native and Android Auto is not really great. But if you're going to remove Android Auto or CarPlay, then your native apps better work really good, or be available even if you don't have subscription, especially in the rental car. So I agree they should get a bad press until their native systems are much better. Right now it feels very clunky, switching between the native screen, which are your standard settings, and your Android Auto, which is needed for maps, and it's always kind of like two or three clicks behind. So that's really all. So there you have it, Silverado EV work truck trim. Again, really good truck. I wouldn't mind having one. Wouldn't mind driving one. Probably would not daily it, but it would be a great work truck. Tons of range, drives great. GM did really good with this truck, and I hope they continue to refine it and continue to make it better and improve it. So hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. One interesting feature that I noticed on this truck is if you're sitting in a truck parked in the parking lot and you're approaching from the back side, either left or right, truck will say that some object is approaching. I don't know if you saw that, but there was a light lit up, so I'm going to try again. Truck will say the object is approaching either from left, right, or rear, right. So now you see it on display. It will give you a warning on the cluster that somebody's approaching your kind of blind spot, which is kind of neat. If you're sitting in the truck and if somebody's trying to sneak up on you, it will give you a warning. So from both sides, it does the same. I didn't do it this time on this side, but it did on the other side. So I'm going to give you one more demonstration on how it does it. So as you're coming, now it didn't do it again. So I'm not sure what it uses, what kind of logic, but I've seen it work really reliably and nicely. Oh, there we go. The light turns on, tells you the object is approaching from the left side. So maybe you just have to be closer to the car, and I'm not sure if it uses ultrasonic or if it uses the standard ADAS radars, but it's a kind of nice feature. See that the light turns on right there. And it will give you warning on the center screen that somebody's approaching your car from the blind spot, which is really nice touch by GM.